Hello fiction fiends, my name's Sonja and I write, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. We have made it to day 3 and 4 of my month-long research program here at U of T, and although we're not even a week into the madness, the work has already begun. Wednesday started up absolutely beautifully, as I now have access to the Pan Am Center. If you aren't aware, U of T students have full access to the Pan Am Center's fitness facilities, and I have been waiting to get my grimy little fingers on the gym equipment. Our research organizers informed us for those students coming from out of Scarborough, it might take the front desk a few days to get our names sorted out and add us into the system. But look at me now, sweaty and content as ever in the gym. For me, a good morning starts off with a good workout, and that's exactly what I did for Wednesday and Thursday. Lots of rising, plenty of grinding. The Rock would be so proud. After my juicy morning workouts, I head back to my dorm and get ready for the day, slap on a good outfit, and prepare for my research team's morning work session. While there are 2 different research teams on the UTSC campus, and while all 10 of us are very close, we have to split up into our respective groups and get to work on some housekeeping and planning from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Divide and conquer, if you know what I'm saying. My team, myself included, are full of chatterboxes, so I'm sure the research coordinators foresaw the chaos that was to ensue if we all stayed together, so they very quickly split us off, and that's how our mornings go. 9 to 1, we're in our individual groups getting some work done. If you recall from my last video, Wednesday is a pitch day. So on Wednesday, my team and I went over all of the pitches we came up with and shared how we could execute these tasks. My teammate Dean and I respectively shared 3 pitches, while Mitzi, our planning of attack coordinator and resident busy bee holding about 50 jobs impressively and still sane, pitched 1 concept, all of which could be added into the DLC section of our digital resource. So the DLC section acts to bring literary criticisms and gaming together, highlighting how games can be utilized in an academic setting. It was on Thursday that everyone's pitches were reviewed and plans of action were made in regard to how each of us should tackle our writing and research. I am so excited to see what everyone comes up with, and I'm so glad that everyone's pitches got the thumbs up. Let's go team! The DLC that I'm currently working on explores how a player connects to and inserts themselves into the video game that they play, and whether or not the aspect of a voiceless character aids them in doing so. Dean and Mitzi too are working on some DLCs, and while we chip away at our writing, Gervina and Anya have been working hard on formatting and creating a style guide for the digital resource. Very much out of my understanding, and to be honest, I would probably accidentally delete the whole resource, so I'm glad that they're taking control of that. Shortly after our research and after our group lunch, all 10 of us met at UTSC's Catalyst Center to participate in a Research Pathways speaker series, an afternoon event where a speaker comes in to teach us research assistants something new. And Wednesday's speaker series was my favorite thus far. I know we're not even a week in, but it was just so good. On Wednesday, we met with Professor Dani, who walked us through tobacco offering protocol and then spoke about indigenizing research. Professor Dani welcomed us to her speaker series by inviting us to smell and feel the different herbs prominent in indigenous practices, including sage, sweetgrass, and tobacco grown here on the campus farm. Now, I was surprised that the Scarborough campus had a farm, and so were the Scarborough students, so it was fun to discover that. And then with our red cloth, some string, and the dried tobacco leaves that we got to see earlier, Professor Dani helped us to make some tobacco offerings. Professor Dani was super awesome, and she was so clear with her explanations, especially when she was telling us the meaning behind the tobacco offerings and why this practice is so important in Indigenous cultures. What I learned from this experience is that tobacco represents or symbolizes time. So when you give a tobacco offering, you're essentially showing somebody that you're giving them your time and respect. And I should preface, although I'm no expert in Indigenous culture and Indigenous cultural practices, it's still important to share what I've learned with you all in hopes that you've been inspired to learn more about the Indigenous culture. Next, as Professor Dani walked us through how the land was legally stolen from the indigenous people, she let us taste maple sugar birch sap, which was much tastier than I expected and I would love to have on a scone, and even some hot, steamy cedar tea, which I should preface, she warned us, don't drink more than 3 cups of this a day, and definitely don't be collecting any cedar near roadways or heavily polluted areas. Essentially, if you don't know your stuff about cedar tea, leave it to the pros to do the collecting. So, fiction fiends, I encourage all of you watching to educate yourselves about Indigenous culture and grow curious about the Indigenous practices we don't hear about day to day. Because with more discourse, more action can arise. I have added the title of a short clip that Professor Dani showed us about the land acknowledgement into the description of this video, and I highly recommend you check it out. I loved the tea. Oh my gosh, I was shocked at how minty good it was, and the tobacco offerings were especially interesting to participate in. I made mine too fat, but that's okay. On the other hand, while Wednesday's speaker event was so fun and actually truly engaging, Thursday's research roundtable was a mite bland. The research roundtable is supposed to help all the teams collectively get to know what everyone else is doing, but when we joined the Zoom call to meet with the downtown Toronto teams and the UTM Mississauga teams, we had joined late and it ended very early. And then because we finished so early with that Zoom call, or because we came so late and the Zoom call ended so early for us, our research coordinator asked our 2 groups to discuss what we've been working on, which was really funny because we do that every night over dinner and in the common room anyway, but it was still lots of fun. So while Wednesday was super hands-on and super educational and very informative, Thursdays was kind of chillaxed, you know. We show up late, we left early. And of course, I can't forget about the food. The 2 teams have made it a sort of tradition to eat together around 6:30 for dinner and to meet up as much as possible at lunch. But tragedy struck on Thursday when my BFF, the moving dish rack, died. I'm so saddened by this. I don't know what to do. Now, instead of a super cool moving dish rack, we're stuck with a bunch of buckets to put our dishes in. But I'm sending my well wishes to the moving dish rack, and I hope he is revived soon. After our dinners, we all converge into the common room and stay up late into the night, either playing games or chit-chatting or playing Jackbox or doing a work study together. It's always really fun. And by late into the night, I mean we're up until well past 11 p.m. But I decide around 10:30 because I get so sleepy that I have to leave. So I'm always the one to leave early and I go pass out in my room. I gotta get that good rest so I can rise and grind in the morning at the gym, if you know what I'm saying. And that has been our day 3 and day 4 so far. I hope you're enjoying my vlogs thus far, and I can't wait to tell you all about our trip to Toronto that we took on Friday, where Mitzi and Sunny were our brilliant tour guides featuring Dean, the storyteller man. Thank you for watching, Fiction Fiends, and I really hope you're enjoying this content as much as I'm enjoying making it. So, ciao for now!
Look, like I can't even get it off, man. It's breaking the muffins. It's not even breaking the muffins. What's going on?
There you go. I'm Praveen and I'm tired. I love you, Sonia.
Thanks.
I love Sonia's comedy.
Nice hair, Paul.